You're listening to the Echo Ratings Eventing Podcast, the show with a light-hearted look at the eventing world, all of the big event previews, reviews, and special guests, and of course, backed up with all of the key Echo Ratings stats. Welcome to the Echo Ratings Eventing Podcast. Welcome to the Echo Ratings Eventing Podcast, and it is another Pau show for you listeners because dressage is done and we wanted to debrief on everything that has happened over the last couple of days as we look forward to Pierre Michelet's cross country, which will be taking place tomorrow. So this show is out on Friday and tomorrow is cross country day. Catherine Austin is with me. Catherine, how are your excitement levels?
Well, isn't it extraordinary? Here we all are. The whole eventing community is like glued to their phones and their screens watching dressage, because we're so excited to have a real live 5-star.
I'm literally hanging on to the fact that there is a big competition. Now, listeners, I am going to put a disclaimer out there because we have builders in. So if all of a sudden there starts to be some drilling and banging in the background, then one, I'm really sorry. And two, please pray for me that it doesn't wake Toby up from his nap because he is currently asleep. So we will take advantage of that while we can. Let's talk dressage because it is actually the third lowest average score of a top 10 at a 5-star. The average score is 23.4. I think it is. I'll just double check that because otherwise I'll be in trouble. 23.4, it is correct. It is an extraordinarily low top 10, but we've seen some amazing quality tests, Catherine, haven't we?
Yes, and we shouldn't be that surprised by that. I mean, brilliant riders, brilliant horses, a higher level of horse probably to most years at Pau because there hasn't been a championship, there hasn't been a Burley, etc., etc. So serious quality, but some lovely tests. I mean, gosh, isn't the standard good at this level now? It never. If you think of the change in the past 10 years in the quality of top level 5-star dressage, I think it's amazing.
Let's talk about our leader, Laura Collett, London 52. So we've had 3 people break the Pau dressage record this weekend. First, Piggy March did it, then Chris Burton, and then Laura Collett holds the new Pau dressage record, 21.3 with London 52. She was under a lot of pressure, Catherine, and actually she went in that first phase and she has absolutely delivered the test that this horse could deliver.
Yeah, she has. She's such a good test rider. I mean, an excellent test rider. It was a very confident, forward, balanced test. Beautiful, crisp flying changes. The only kind of slight criticism is that as he came to the very first hole, he stuck his head up, rested a hind leg and slightly went, oh my God. People, this is kind of, this is quite exciting, but that was it really, wasn't it? She got a 10 for her extended canter, which funny enough, a few people did. I think they were all from the French judge who clearly likes a good extended canter. But super test. Everything to play for.
Yeah, there is actually, her extended canter was fairly wow. I'm not going to lie. And when she came in for that first hole, you say the only bit we can really pick a hole in, she still got 7s across the board because it was so beautiful anyway. She put in a real sort of clear round in the dressage, so to speak. So she is the leader. Leading at a 5-star, Chris Burton from yesterday's dressage. He was one of the later ones to go yesterday, Graph Liberty. His old campaigner, Catherine, who has been 4th at badminton, he's won an ERM leg. He's been on podiums of others. He has been top 10 at Le Moulin previously. This is one of the most experienced horses at 5-star in the field. There's a few of them, but this certainly has all the ingredients. And I would think Chris Burton is rubbing his hands together in glee at the thought of a Pierre Michelet track that is going to be tight on time.
Yeah, it should suit them brilliantly. This was a very professional, polished, smooth performance from a horse and rider who know each other very well. I think Bertho's done a brilliant job with this horse, and he's repeatedly said that he hasn't always been the easiest horse to work with and to manage. And it was a very happy performance. I thought once or twice in the early trot work, the horse looked a little bit fussy in his mouth. But, it was a proper clear round. His final halt, well, he didn't entirely halt the whole time, but having dropped, just literally a couple of marks on that, the overall impression was so good and so fluent that they got superb marks.
Yeah, and Piggy March, Brookfield Innocent, the horse's 5-star debut. So 2 of the top 3, the horses are running at 5-star for the first time. 22.2. She actually had the only mistake in her test was a mistake in one of the changes that I know Piggy will no doubt be kicking herself about. And Katie said exactly that when we spoke to her on her Pau Diaries show. But still a brilliant performance. And actually there is all to play for because there are, just over 2 seconds covering the top 3. And the top 10 is really, really tightly bunched as well. So Piggy is in third. Tim Price, Wesco. Tim he has had nearly 50 runs at 5-star, Catherine. And that is his best ever 5-star test of 23.0.
Oh, what a dear horse he is. Wasn't it lovely to watch them? They look so great together. And so, it's a real joy to watch them. The horse, age 17, looks fabulous, and they clearly enjoy each other. They know exactly what they're doing. They know how to get the marks. But the overall impression was a very happy one.
Who else stood out for you in the top 10? Because, Kevin McNabb has had 2 super rides. He's got 2 in the top 15. Ross Cantor's in equal 5th as well with the Great Zen Shearer. Who was your highlight from those other horses for the dressage?
Well, we've got to mention Zen Shearer because is there anything more consistent in the whole world than Ross and Zen Shearer at Pau? And they're a joy. He's so accurate. He's like clockwork is the wrong word because clockwork sort of implies that it doesn't have a lot of, joie de vivre in life. And that isn't true. It's just so polished. So well done to them. What about Molly Sunland? What an amazing 5-star debut for her. And we know this horse is a good dressage horse and it's got such lovely paces. But good girl, very well done.
Yeah, I'm rooting for her in her first 5-star. I think she was 3 million, I think, an eventing manager at the start of the week. And with good reason, because this horse has had some really good results. I would be expecting possibly a few time faults on the cross country. But again, who knows? They're very, very classy. They deserve their place in the top 10 after the first phase. Alex Bragg and Sir Greb actually are very well placed at 24.9 in 7th. And that will see them sort of well in contention. They had a little bit of disparity between the judges' marks that Alex would be ruining slightly. I think that he couldn't be a little bit closer to the podium at this stage. Laura Collett has 2 of hers in the top 10 because Mr. Bass is in 10th. The only horse that we haven't mentioned that also sits inside the top 10 is Christoph Waller, Carrier Tan, who was one of those horses that Sam was talking about on the preview show that, he could do a 35 or he could do a 25, and actually he has done a 25.6. So brilliant.
And with improvement to come, because some of this horse's work is outstanding and there's some of it that's not quite there yet. So you think that they have plenty of capability to improve on that, which and that's the thing about Brookfield Innocent, isn't it, as well, that this is
absolutely
first 5-star test. It made a mistake, it's still got a mark like that. So, wow,
yeah, absolutely. We're being highly critical of these because it is the tiny marks that make that difference on the leaderboard. But these are very, very good scores. And actually, that the same goes to be said for Tom McHugh and Toledo de Cursa. 27.0. Again, a very, very good score. But I think he's going to be disappointed to be down in 12th after the first phase.
Of course, I've nailed all my colours in every possible way to the Toledo Mars, so I'm furious with Tom. No, there were a couple of mistakes. It was a shame about the incorrect strike-off from the rein back. The horse doesn't have the greatest walk in the world, and that slightly showed. Look, obviously we're splitting hairs. This is a fabulous horse, and I can't wait to see the rest of its performances over the next couple of days. But it wasn't quite the test that we would have hoped for, or Tom would have hoped for. These things happen.
Yeah, they do. And I would say this horse, his first phase has improved amazingly over the last sort of 12 months or so. And he really could be, without those mistakes, which were very, very costly, he would have been top 5 here. At which point you would have been saying he was the only one to make, he wasn't the only one, he was the second fastest last year, and he's a superb show jumper, so you'd still be fancying his chances. There is still everything to play for, but I think it is just, a little bit of disappointment perhaps for the defending champion. let's talk eventing manager. How is your team doing, Catherine? Because the market is back open. Are you going to make any substitutions?
Well, I might do. I never have done before because you think, no, stick with your guts and go with it. But I might do because I'm not doing very well. Yeah.
I am currently in a grand total of, hang on, let me find out where I am. There's over 1,400 people playing. Oh, I'm 992nd. I mean, that's pretty bad.
Well,
the leading,
I don't really want to talk about it.
The leading team at the moment is Catherine L. She has Tim Price and Wesco, Laura Collett, London 52, and Christoph Fowler, Carrier-Tan, and she is on an exceptional score of 69.9, which is just remarkable. She's equal, actually, with Andy Graffenhofer, who has the same 3 counting scores, but a different third score.
I'm 1,032nd.
Oh dear. It's bad, isn't it? I'm terribly competitive, and I have to admit, I think I'm going to just stick with my guns. I picked my team for a reason. I'm going to stick with them. But listeners, if you want to make any substitutions in your team, if you want to make any changes, just go and see in how the market has changed. Then you can do so. Just open up the Eventing Manager app, which is available to download for free in your app store. Or if you, again, haven't played, you can still enter a team. So the prices will have changed slightly after the first phase. So those horses, so say, for example, if we just look at Piggy March has increased slightly. Chris Burton has increased. Laura Collett, London 52, obviously our leaders, they've increased by 300,000. So they're 4 million now. So it's still affordable for the dressage leader, but, go in, play along. It is great fun. And we will be seeing how things progress over the weekend. Catherine, are you going to be watching Horse and Country on the live stream, or are you working?
I am actually going hunting tomorrow. I'm certainly going to watch it all on playback later, but I am going to be hunting for a few hours. So I shall catch up with it all. Well, it's quite a nice thing to do, isn't it? Come home from hunting, watch Pau, watch
it back. Yeah, absolutely.
What have we heard about the course? I've heard it's tough enough. Perhaps it's slightly softer in the first kind of, 100 yards. But
out from the start box to the second.
Exactly. It's pretty serious after that. It's certainly a 5-star.
Yeah, the reports we've had from both Laura Collett and Katie Preston, whose shows, listeners, are out now. You can hear Laura talk very, very beautifully about what Mr. Bass and London 52 are like as characters, what they're like at home and their careers so far. And Katie Preston, of course, is keeping us up to date with her Pau diaries as well. They both say typical Michelet, forward distances, twisty, and they both think the time is going to be really influential, and a couple of corners off blind turns as well, which is going to be interesting. I think that if we had to say who would be leading post cross country, I'd say Chris Burton is going to be feeling very, very comfortable at the moment, because he knows that this horse is fast. But I don't know if he'd stay there on Sunday. So, that's just I think he's going to be one to watch, certainly, in the cross country.
I agree with you, and I think I'm going to take the pressure off Laura and say, yes, that he's going to be, I hope she is, but that at this horse's first 5-star, it really wouldn't matter if he came home with a handful of time faults.
Yeah, and you know what? You don't know how a horse is going to run over 11 and a half minutes in this sort of intensity. So you kind of have to sort of play it a little bit by ear. I am rooting, to be honest, I'm just really, really damned excited that we're going to have 5-star cross-country listeners. We are going to be able to watch along. There are some of the best combinations in the world. And who will top the podium come Sunday afternoon? I don't know. But we will be with you every step of the way. Catherine, thank you. And enjoy following along with Pau tomorrow.
I certainly will do.
Listeners, we will have another update from Katie Preston at some point post cross country tomorrow, pre-show jumping on Sunday. And of course, we will have all of the reaction for you in a review show very early next week. But stay in touch. You can follow Echo Ratings across social media, and they will be giving you all of the breaking stats, records, everything that you need to know about Pau. And of course, we will be with you here on the podcast as well. So enjoy it. Download Eventing Manager, watch it on Horse and Country Plus, join the Flick group and chat along with everybody as an immediate reaction as things happen. And we will be back very soon. But thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to the Echo Ratings Eventing podcast. This podcast is available for free on iTunes, Spotify, Podcast Addict, or wherever you usually listen to your podcasts. Make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss an episode. Find us at eventingpodcast.com or search Eventing Podcast on social media. It's time for you to go up against thousands of eventing fans all over the world, because Eventing Manager is back, and this time there are real life competitions. Pick your fantasy eventing team of 4 from a virtual $10 million budget to be in with a chance of winning prizes, to play for your country and against your friends. The game will be available to play at a number of top competitions throughout the rest of the year, so what are you waiting for? Download the app for free in your App Store or on Google Play to get involved today. Visit echoratings.com for more information and use the hashtag Eventing Manager or tag @EchoRatings across social media. We would love to see your teams. Good luck, and we hope you enjoy playing Eventing Manager.